Hi, this video is not about any technical topics but a general guideline, and that is how would I approach learning Excel in 2024. Okay, but before going into that, let me give you my introduction. My name is Ismail and I am working as Excel automation expert for the last 3 years. Normally I do contractual job, not a permanent position in any company. And I have an account in Fiverr. Most of my client is from outside of any marketplace. And I have completed over more than 100 smaller project and few bigger project that runs over more than 1 or 2 years. I always feel like I'm not competent enough to give any advice, but still I will try. Okay, so how would I approach learning Excel in 2024? So that's the main topics of this video. Before going to learn anything, I would suggest you to learn a couple of things. Like instead of learning VBA, Power Query, DAX or Lambda or formula, I would suggest you to learn a couple of things, the basic things. First thing you need to learn is table. To create a table, you need to know how to change table column, how to insert rows, how to insert columns, etc. That's the first thing. Next thing is that how to use pivot table. Okay, most of the time you will not need any kind of automation. You don't need Power Query, you don't need VBA, you don't need DAX or Lambda. Most of the time you will see that you can do this without using any one of those, and you can use pivot table and table together. Okay, the next thing is that you should learn name range. Okay, that is another thing. So how to create a name range, how to delete a name range, how to change reference. Okay, that kind of stuff. So these are the three things: table, pivot table and name range. These are the basic. Okay, you don't need to do anything else except these three at the beginning. Okay, once you have the grasp of those three, I would suggest you to learn few basic formula like XLOOKUP, like match, XMatch, VLOOKUP. You can learn HLOOKUP as well, index, and then search, find, this kind of basic ones. You don't need to learn complicated ones, like you don't need to learn lambdas, you don't need to learn other stuff at the beginning. Okay, I'm not saying that you don't need to learn at all, but at the beginning you don't need to learn all of those formula. And I think Excel has more than 400 formula now, and I'm not expecting anyone to learn all of them. Okay, and you don't need all of them. Okay, so that's why you need few couple of things like search, find, left, right, mid, match, lookup, XLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, XMatch, sort, filter, this kind of stuff. Okay, the basic ones. Once you have that in your grasp or in your skill set, then I would suggest you to learn Power Query. Nothing else, just focus on the Power Query. Don't learn VBA, don't learn DAX, don't learn Lambda. Just try to learn Power Query. At least the basic ones, at least like how to use the UI, how to automate things using the UI. You don't need to go into the advanced editor and you don't need to change the code manually. Okay, just try to use the UI. Okay, whatever option you have in the UI, and try to solve few problems using the UI, and that will build your automation most of the time. You don't need the VBA most of the time. Okay, I'm not saying that there is no place for VBA or any other stuff, but most of the time you will be able to pull that things using the Power Query. Okay, you don't need the VBA most of the time. So the next thing is that Power Query, right? So from the beginning, learn table, pivot table, name range, few basic formula, then Power Query. Then if you want to learn more, then I would suggest you to learn Lambda. Okay, not the VBA. Learn the Lambda. Learn the new dynamically spelled formula like filter, like text after, text before, text split, reduce, scan, sequence, random array. And there are a lot of new dynamic array function that you should learn. Okay, and try to solve problem using the Lambda. There are a couple of differences between Power Query, Lambda and VBA based on the same problem. Like if I have something that I can solve using all of those three, like Lambda, Power Query or VBA, then based on the customer requirements, I would choose wisely. So let me give you an example. So if the customer wants to see the result whenever they change the data, and they don't want to press any button, they don't want to do any right click or anything, they just want to change the value and see the output, then try to use Lambda. Okay, because it will change as soon as you change the inputs. Okay, but in case of Power Query, you need to refresh. In case of VBA, you need to click on a button. You can use worksheet, change event and other stuff, but it's still most of the time is better to press a button, right? So that's why based on the customer requirements, you should use wisely. Okay, and if the client is okay with, they don't want to see the result immediately but they want to refresh later on, or they want to click a button later on, then you can choose between Power Query and VBA. Let's suppose it has a lot of data cleaning process, then I would go with the Power Query instead of VBA, because Power Query is better for extraction, transformation and cleaning up process, right? So that's why I would go with the Power Query. And if it's something that cannot be done using Power Query, then I would go with the VBA. The last resort is my VBA solution. Okay, so from the beginning again, table, pivot table, name range, few basic formula, Power Query, then lambda. Okay, and a new dynamically spelled formula. And then if you have the learning curiosity, then go with the VBA. Okay, and it will save you a lot of time, definitely. And most of my work is on VBA. Okay, I have done few that integrate all of this, like I have a Power Query in the same project, I have lambda in the same project, I have VBA in the same project, and I am integrating in between them. Like most of my cleaning process in Power Query, I run the automation and export the result using the VBA. I have a lambda that do some calculation easily. So that kind of stuff. But there are some problems that can be only solved by VBA. Like let's suppose you want to update a PowerPoint presentation, you want to create a Word documents, you want to send an email, you want to modify folder, you want to create files, you want to delete folders, delete files, etc. So there are places where you can only do those things using VBA. That's why you need the VBA. So once again, the order is table, pivot table, name range, few basic formula, Power Query, lambda, and then VBA. And once you have everything like this, then you can focus on this Python in Excel. If you have that curiosity, then you can focus on the JavaScript part, like Excel JavaScript API. You can learn TypeScript and other stuff, creating add-ins and other advanced stuff. Okay, but I would suggest you that initial roadmap that I laid out up to the VBA. If you want to do some more calculation, you have a data model and other stuff, then go for the DAX. Okay, the last one is the DAX. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you want to add anything in the comment of this video. Have a good day.